Hello, this is Iana Rain, and I'm here with the Academy of Magical Art, and I am going to talk to you about color and how to use color and what color therapy is. Color is very important in our lives, and I don't think that a lot of people realize how important it is. So we'll go ahead and start with using colors to create your reality. Each color has a frequency vibration that corresponds with a particular chakra. And those are the energy centers that are in your body. If you're not familiar with those, we'll be going over those a little bit more later. Selecting and using colors always helps harness the vibration that color holds, and it helps create your reality almost instantly. If you learn more about the meaning of these colors, you'll be able to create what your reality is, or what the reality is that you want to create, and the energy that you want to put forward. Colors hold all kinds of different frequencies and vibrations. Everything in the universe is made up of one thing, and that's light energy. Light energy moves through different frequencies, but the human eye can only capture just a small portion of that frequencies, and the range is really about 400 nanometers to 700 nanometers, and that goes from red to violet. However, all kinds of different animal species are capable of seeing very much more frequencies than we are. For example, birds and insects can see ultraviolet lights, and they can do a higher frequency. So those are the colors that we are unable to see with our naked eye. But regardless the range of color or frequency, the vibration will always be there. And the ability for us to call those in is just simply knowing what they are, and the ability to direct them where they want to go. Using the vibrations is very easy. All you have to do is align yourself with that vibration and then think of what it is you desire. So going into a little bit of the meaning of colors. Now this is a chakra guide for those of you who are unfamiliar. Just a real quick, simple rundown for this. The colors that are in your chakras correspond to different energy centers in your body. They help balance and store and distribute any kind of energy that's needed or unneeded. And it helps for life. It helps for your prana. Prana is life force. It helps keep you balanced. If you can understand the meanings of color and what is related to them from your chakras, you'll have a good hold of how to start your healing. From the top to the bottom, chakras and their correspondent colors. The higher they are, the higher the color, the higher the vibration, and the more evolved they are, like spiritually connected in a way. While the lower chakras are positioned lower in the body, and they are lower, and they have basic needs more of survival. So we're going to go ahead and start with the top, and that's the crown. Now this chakra would be on the top of your head, and the color associated with this chakra is purple or white. This is spirituality, enlightenment, and any kind of connection to the source, the divine great-grandfather spirit, the universe, universal connection, however you'd like to look at the higher source. The number 2 chakra is the third eye, and that's right in the middle of your forehead, and that is indigo or a very dark blue. This is where intuition, dreams, and psychic ability are located. Your throat chakra is blue. Of course, this is communication, speech, and hearing. Your 4th is just up underneath that, right in between your breastplate, and that is the heart chakra. And this is green and pink, and of course, this is love. Also walking in right notion, true notion, this comes from your heart. Number 5 is the solar plexus, or navel chakra, and of course you'll find that by your belly button. This is yellow, and it's your powerhouse. This is where it's kind of like the main grid. This is where a lot of everything comes from when people are feeling unbalanced or feeling like they don't have enough power or not being understood. A lot of times you'll find that their solar plexus is out or not freely moving. Next, the 6th one is the sacral, and it's orange, and that would be in your pelvic area. And of course, this is sexuality and creativity. This can also be looked at as a fertility spot, and this is where your kundalini energy arises. So last we have the root chakra. Now the root chakra is like your feet or your bottom if you're sitting on the ground, and it's going to be red. And this is survival, protection, and being grounded. So that's a quick list of the chakras. So when you're talking about color therapy, what exactly is that? You know, what is color therapy? Have you ever noticed that there are certain things in our environments that are absolutely almost all the same colors and we don't necessarily know it? There's a reason for that. If you think about it just for a second, think about all the different fast food chains off the top of your head. What are the major colors of those? I sat down for a second and I had a page full, and it was mostly reds and mostly yellows. I could list a ton of them. And I'm wondering, why do you think that is? So if you're going into color therapy and you're looking at that, well, you know what? They're focusing on that. They're focusing on that vibration to call us in. I know that it's supposed to be like speedy. You know, people think that it's fast. Yellow can be seen from far away. Red is also one of those colors that can be seen from far away. And it triggers to our subconscious. And what it does is saying, oh, this is bright. This is alluring. I have to go see what this is. It's very much playing on that inner guidance that we aren't even completely aware of. So my luck and hope here is to kind of bring a little of that for you. Also, with color, I thought it was a cute little tidbit of information that the roots of color are from ancient Egypt, and is also speculation that the color therapy and using color for healing has a connection with the ancient civilization of Atlantis. Now, I don't have a whole lot of information on that. I just thought it was kind of neat that that was thrown in there. All colors reflect the rainbow. They carry their own unique healing properties. The sun alone is a wonderful healer. Just imagine what life would be like without the sun. It's proven that lack of sunlight can contribute to people's depression or people acting out of sorts and being angry. Just by using color, the vibrations that you facilitate can heal. Vibrations will also heal the spiritual body as along with the mind. So colors are one of the most beautiful and also one of the most underappreciated aspects of physical realm. We are surrounded by thousands and thousands and thousands of colors, and it definitely can affect us. This is unharnessed energy that we just have not tapped into. It affects our emotions and our behavior. And why that is it because it is also made of light, and there is vibration there. Anytime we have vibration and light, it affects us because we are made of the same thing. Color, I also feel, is one of the languages of our soul. It can influence our mood and emotions. They have impacted our well-being and our uneasiness. It's also letting us know a little bit of our psychology, whether we love or dislike a color. It can help us understand self-expression, and that's called color psychology. Colors have been symbolic in meaning in the subconscious for years. Scientists have also been using color for years to like program in commercials and subliminal messaging, and it's all right there. It also influences the flow of energy through our bodies. It also tells us something about our biological attraction and our sexual energy by the colors that we associate with and where we're at. When we're talking about the subconscious mind picking up on color, next time you're going to your favorite store or going to your favorite restaurant, pay attention to what colors are around you. How do they make you feel? What is it that it's making you think? And then go and look up what those colors actually mean. Now, I do have some meaning of colors here, but it'd be a really long, in-depth thing. I'm just going to touch base on a few of them. But just keep in mind about what that is and why it is that you're feeling the way that you are. It is a direct correlation to our thoughts is the color of the vibration that we're enjoying or not enjoying. So with it affecting mood, have you ever, for example, heard anybody say that, oh, he's seeing red, or I'm feeling blue, or she was green with envy? They've been saying this stuff for years. You can't deny that mood definitely is affected by color. They're very, very much interlinked. Color can affect you in so many ways with spirituality. The vibrations in your aura, your actual physical health, your mental health. Now, the aura is a spiritual energy field that surrounds every living thing, and it's visible, but it's not visible to everybody. It's only visible to the psychic eye. In spirituality, color can affect both how you intake information and how the vibration affects you, as in aura colors and energy and healing. The aura is a spiritual energy field surrounding living beings, which is visible to the psychological senses only. Think about it. What is the most color that we see around us? Remember that fast food stuff? many of them are using the same colors. Why do you think that is? They're definitely targeting on our emotions. They're targeting on what it is that we don't necessarily know as a collective. What do you think the most favorite color is worldwide? I actually was not so much shocked about this, but it's blue. And out of the whole entire world, the statistics show that men wear blue out of most colors, hands down. And it'll be curious to you that women actually wear black. And so I thought, well, what is the most disliked color? Well, some of them came up as like white, and white's really not a color. And so I looked a little deeper, and it's tied between yellow and brown, which is curious because yellow promotes high vibration. It's very loving. It's represented by the sun. It's high vibration. Sometimes that's irritating to people, but it's very alluring. And brown, even though brown is a very dull color, it is a very earth-based color. When you have somebody that is having anxiety or panic attacks, they say to wrap yourself in a brown blanket. It's very grounding and soothing. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So with that being said, do you have a favorite color? I know mine's purple. What color do you dislike? I have colors that I dislike. My most disliked color, I would have to say navy blue. I have no idea why, it just is. I'm not a fan. So with that being said, there is a thing that's called color psychology. Color psychology is literally that. Think about what it is that you want for color. Think about the stuff that you like, you're surrounding that. Find out what that color means. It's showing your personality. So when you're doing that, keep in mind, like for myself, I can give you an example. I absolutely love to wear the color black, and I kind of have gotten out of that. My favorite color since childhood has been purple. Recently, I was diagnosed with some not so fun stuff, and I noticed that my wardrobe has been creepingly getting more green. And not creepily, it's just kind of sneaking in. So I was curious about that, and I looked it up. And it's about balance, and it's about grounding and growth and health. And I thought, well, how perfect. My soul was already going for that. It was already trying to facilitate the healing through that color therapy, which I thought was kind of neat. So it made me think and start looking a little more, and that's why we're sitting here right now. So how you can incorporate color therapy into your life is really easy. It's by kind of trying to learn what these colors represent. You can do it through food, you can do it through stones, clothing, painting, coloring, meditation, energy treatments. You can get colored blankets. You can actually treat a room for color, and of course any kind of art. You can also drink certain colored, juices, foods, whatever. All of it works. It's just holding that vibration. So if anybody's curious at all, I do have a little bit. I don't want to go too much into the colors because what I have here is I have the psychological makeup of the colors. I have the chakra colors, which you already got. And I also have colors associated with magic and mysticism. They are very similar, but the vibration and intention is just a little bit different with those. So if you want to talk about the psychology colors, and what those are, going in with healing, this kind of works for both. You're talking about red, you have healing properties. This is supposed to bring in warmth, and it's supposed to stimulate energy. It's very, very good for fatigue, colds, chills, people who are extremely passive. Never, ever treat cancer with red because this color stimulates cell growth. This also can lower blood pressure, and it's for your organs and your senses. It applies to the hearing, the taste, and the vision. If you're not so happy about it and you don't like the color red, this is going to indicate that you are a person who is overactive, maybe impulsive, a little hot-tempered, aggressive, maybe a little egotistical. You might have difficulties with other people and certain characteristics of other people. You can also have deep hidden fears of rejection. So that's what the red is. Orange is healing. It's also a very warm color. It's cheerful. It's non-constricting. It has a very freeing action upon the body. And orange shows new possibilities of life. It stimulates creation and enthusiasm, and it helps us simulate new ideas. Also, a fun fact, as people get older, they tend to stop wearing orange. And nobody really understands what the science is behind that, but that's something that they've been noticing more and more of. If you are have an aversion to the color orange, and this might mean that you have suppressed sexual feelings, difficulties with sensuality, you have a hard time enjoying life, an attitude, maybe possibly overindulging in sex, and you could be a little materialistic if you have an aversion to orange. Now yellow healing properties strengthen the nervous system and the mind, and it helps with mental stimulation, and it also connects with the higher mental self. It's excellent color for the nervous system. It aligns everything. Muscles. Dark yellow soothes pain and nerves. You know, you'd wrap yourself in these colors. It helps promote skin, and it also aids in scar tissue and healing. If you are not a fan of yellow, a person who does not like yellow is emotionally despondent. They could be a little bitter. They may have a tendency to have unrationalized feelings towards something. They avoid depth in conversation. They're not fun with any kind of challenging relationships. They are constantly changing activities. So that's also a high vibration. You know, thinking about the yellow and going back to the colors that people were not fond of, you know, people are taught to not communicate and connect and to be withdrawn. People don't like to share their emotions anymore. So that actually might have a correlation there. If people aren't wearing or facilitating with the color yellow, then obviously there's going to be a blockage there. Moving on to the color green. Green is the color of nature and of the earth. It is a balance of harmony and the essence that possesses the soothing influence upon both the mind and the body. It is neither relaxing or astringent. It's just impactful. Green can be used for just about any kind of condition that needs healing. Green rings psychologically and emotionally harmony and balance. Green links and stimulates the heart chakra. Green affects the blood pressure and all conditions of the heart. It is both energizing, effective, and moderate of smoothing all of these over. It is also good for hormone imbalances. If you have an aversion to green, a person who has an aversion to green may be more interested in independence, self-development than in a warm, friendly life. May prefer to keep certain distance in sexual relationships. Moving on to blue. Blue is cooling, electric, astringent. The blue principles of light and color state that blue ray is one of the greatest antiseptics in the world. Cools down inflammation, fever, high blood pressure. It relieves bruising and headaches, calms strained emotions like anger, aggression, or hysteria. Brings tranquility. Kind of funny that blue is the all-time favorite of everybody to wear, and it seems to be one of the ones for soothing, which is a good thing. Maybe we do know something after all. Blue also stimulates the throat chakra. If you have an aversion to blue, this means that you can be very despondent. You don't really like basic career stuff. You may not necessarily have a great direction in life, and you can have some kind of restrictions and be lackadaisical. Moving into indigo. Indigo is a great purifier of the bloodstream. It's very beneficial to purify any kind of free agent. Indigo combined with deep blue is very devotional. Also can be mixed with red, and it could be a warm and cool color mixture. A person may have aversion to violet/purple if they have a serious attitude towards life or have difficulty in dreams, fantasies. They may have a tendency to reject everything regardless of how real or unrealistic it is. White is a preferred color. It's all colors, and it has perfect balance and perfect harmony. The color white awakens spirit and light and perfection, the light of the cosmic consciousness and the divine. If you have an aversion to white, this person may be unrealistic of tangible things. They might be having illusions beyond what anybody can see or understand, know and accepts and owns imperfection, and does not wish to achieve perfection at all. After going on to white, we're going to move into the magenta, and that's kind of a pinkish raspberry color, and this attracts and speeds things up. It's extra power. It's like amplifying. It's very, very, very good for spiritual power, life purpose and life path. A lot of, if you notice, a lot of motivational speakers and self-help speakers will have bright colors on their flyers and ads, and this is one of them. People who have aversion to magenta are usually feeling overwhelmed. They're strong to their convictions. They have very heavy emotions. They can be very jealous. They have difficulties with expressing and exposing deep emotion. So that's what the magenta is about. Turquoise increases intuition and sensitivity. It's very, very good for tones and general systems. It's good for the skin and relaxes sensations of stress. If you have a preference for turquoise, it is that you are liking to bring things to the surface and you don't like to hide things. It's a color of renewal and humanity. It's coming together in humanity. An aversion to this is you have a problem and you're constantly looking for solidarity. You want to have secret society maybe, especially if you're in marriage. You tend to pull things back, and you're an original thinker and you like to start new paths. And now we're going into the brown. Now I know brown doesn't get a whole lot of love from everybody, but honestly it's an elemental of earth, and it's talking about Saturn. It's the planet spirit Saturn, and the stability there is of grounding and conservation and protection of the household and the family, pets, healing. It's for finding lost objects. Like, brown is actually extremely powerful color, and because it's very earthy, it's very soothing too. A lot of people associate, of course, brown with like dirt from the earth, and if you think about that, and if we didn't have that, it wouldn't be very comforting at all. If you have an aversion to the color brown, you can be very trivial in life, maybe not be so connected to your roots. Somebody who's not connected, that means like home, family, job. You may experience some unstable health in life and attitude if you're not a fan of the brown. Black is also earth, and its deities of the underworld is being represented by that. Negativity, protection, banishing, binding, breaking free from bad habits, deep meditation, and it opens up the unconscious levels. If you have an aversion to black, it is said that you have a lot of fear of the unknown, and you are fearful of the abuse of power, the desire to come free of all kinds of blockages, hindrances, and anything that can be thrown out of shackles per se, to not be bound down. Now gold is beautiful, and it's absolute authority, self-confidence, creativity, perfection, solar energies, and it's also a masculine energy. It is in control of financial riches, investments, luxury, winning, world power, magic power, overcoming bad habits and addiction. There is really no aversion to the color gold. Silver is the same way. Now silver is the opposite of gold, and it is a female energy, and this is cycles and rebirth, reincarnation, healing of hormonal imbalances. There's also emotional stability in there, removing, neutralizing negative energy, intuition, dreams, psychic abilities, and psychic workings. So if you want to look at copper and bronze, because these ones are a little different because they're metals as well, this is love and passion for positive relationships in love, friendship, and business, career promotions, and ongoing negotiations. So now those are healing attributes of those colors, and you can go more in depth on that. I would recommend, there's a couple different sites online that you can kind of look at and Google them. Just kind of be mindful, take up what resonates with you, and if it doesn't, then I would leave it behind. There's nothing wrong with reading and getting different ideas from different people. You'll be able to get together in your own mind what it is and what it means to you. So earlier we talked a little bit about personality colors, and what a personality color is, it's you exhibiting all of the characteristic traits of a personality color. Like it's you taking on that persona of that color because it is one of your favorite colors, and it's very similar but yet a little different because it's a more scientific in depth of what these colors are. And so like they do go into personality of the color red, personality of the color orange, and it basically goes into different colors. And it gives you an idea and a grasp on how those colors vibrate. And it's really kind of interesting because they're the same, but not the same as what we just went through. And they're also a little different. Like the vibrations are the same, but it's almost like you're in the same building and you're sitting in a different chair, but everything else is the same. So when you're talking about personality colors, of course, for some reason, they always list the color red as being first. And it indicates, if this is like your favorite color, the psychology of that indicates that you are optimistic, courageous, and confident. You are very active. Sex is very necessary for you. It's a strong survival instinct for you. With a favorite color red, you like to be the center of attention. In fact, you crave it. And it's drawn to you to help with your vitality and your excitement. So red is a very high vibrating color. Now, people who absolutely dislike it could be going underneath stress. This could be that there's passion lacking in your life. It's more maybe you have some kind of an illness that you have that needs to be calmed. Red is just a very high energy. It can also facilitate anger and emotions that are not handled. Also, suffering from rejection could also cause you to have a problem with the color red. The personality of orange. The personality of orange is optimism. It's an extrovert, very flamboyant, very, very friendly, good-natured, very agreeable person. It's talking about, let me see here, it's talking about how those people who personalities connect with orange are very, very, very comfortable, super lighthearted. They're not very intense. They love and thrive in social gatherings. Now, if orange is something that is off on you and it's not good for you, you don't like orange, your personality, you are not comfortable in large groups, you do not like partying and socializing. Some of the other things are you keep smaller groups of friends close to you. You don't like any kind of person who's flamboyant or showing off. It's offensive to you. You're holding yourself back socially. It can also have anger undertones as well. Red and orange and yellow can be irritating too to certain people because of the high frequency and high vibration. And if you have somebody who's got more of a mellow and a lower frequency and a vibration, it will be clashing to them. Now, some people are able to raise their vibration and mesh well with it. It just depends on somebody's growth and where they're at in their journey. Going into yellow. Characteristics of yellow is somebody who is very, very, very upbeat. They are great with bright personality. You may also find that they exhibit some negative traits, particularly when they're stressed out. So people who like yellow are very bright and cheery, but are quick to flip that coin and get a little stressed out when things aren't going well. If color yellow is a dislike for you and you're having trouble with that, you're not very particular down to earth. You spend too much time daydreaming, possibly. You prefer to keep firmly planted on the ground. When things are stressed out, you have to have that, or you can get out of hand a little bit. You like to think before you leap. You're not impulsive or spontaneous, which is funny because you would think with that bright vibrating color that somebody would definitely be that way. The green is very much so for the psychology, a in-depth person who is in love with nature, somebody who has well balance and strives for balance and seeks it. They're actively facilitating this in their life. Having a personality green means that you are kind, generous, compassionate, and that you are very, very good during a crisis and remain calm until the situation is resolved. If you dislike green, or if green is something you need healed inside of you, it means that you could notice, you're not a social person at all. You do things the way the majority do things. You're kind of a follower. You're not particularly fond of nature too much, and you're a loner. You prefer to keep to yourself and not so much loving the mixed crowds. Personality color blue. We may not exhibit all the characteristics of the personality, but people with blue are very stressed easily, and some of the negative traits will trickle over from the description of where that person thinks they should be and where they really are. If this is a favorite color for you, you are impulsive and spontaneous. You always think before you speak. You have peace on your time. You generally have a sense of responsibility and seriousness. Having a personality trait color blue means that you are deep need for peace and harmony in your everyday life. You do not like having feathers ruffled at all. Very, very not good thing for a blue person. You would benefit daily from meditation and quiet time and reflection. Very, very important for self-discovery for those of you who are needing some blue. If you dislike blue, you may be tired. You may be sick of being the responsible one. You dislike routine and are looking for some stimulation and some spontaneity. If your favorite color is indigo, and it's your personality color, you are honest, compassionate, understanding. You have integrity, and it is extremely important for you to have truth. You need structure in your life. Organization is very important to you. You can be quite flexible when it comes to order, but it's important for you to have structure. Having a personality color of indigo also indicates that you love ritual and traditions. You look to the past when planning for the future. If you have an aversion to indigo, or if you dislike indigo, these are the things that could be fixed in your life if using them as a therapy. Dislike rituals, not a fan of tradition. You are not interested in developing your own intuitive powers. You prefer to go by your gut instinct. You prefer to be a free spirit and not to follow any set rules, and you dislike conformity. Now moving into the personality color purple, which happens to be my favorite. This is an indication of, having either purple or violet is an indication that you are sensitive and compassionate, understanding and supportive. You think of others before yourself. You are a person who anybody can come to for help. Being needed motivates you to sometimes be a strong person, but it can also motivate people to take advantage of you. You are a gentle, free spirit. Your feelings are deep, and you can be quite sensitive and very, very hurt. If you are opposed to or dislike the color purple, it means that you are a realist and your feet are planted firmly on the ground. You love the present rather than the past or the future. You may not be that artistic, but you like to be critical. You prefer to conform to society's ideas rather than have an idealistic attitude. You are more interested in the present or the past or the future. You may be finding it difficult to express any kind of activity or creativity. Now bouncing down into pink. If pink is your personality color, you are generous, sensitive, very thoughtful of others. You are friendly and approachable with warmth, softness, and are drawn to others of the same personality. You are a nurturer of the world. You love to give nurturing and receive nurturing all at the same time. Disliking pink would mean that you have unresolved emotions from childhood with either a mother or a father. You may crave more attention in your life. Pink may also be just too sicky sweet for you if you're not too girly and feminine. You are not compassionate or nurturing type of person. Now we're going to go back to the personality color brown. So the personality color brown, you are honest, down to earth, very wholesome, salt of the earth people, You kind of like to have your feet firmly planted on the ground. You are steady and reliable and quite confident. You are friendly and approachable, very genuine and sincere. Personality color brown, you will have a keen sense of duty and responsibility for you, and you take your obligations very, very seriously. Disliking brown would mean your personality is you are more outgoing and enjoying a fun, fulfilled life with like-minded people. You are more of a dreamer with a colorful imagination. You are spontaneous and love fresh and innovative ideas. You could be looked at as witty, impulsive, and generous. Simple, practical, down-to-earth people bore you. And you like more spontaneous pursuits than everyday pursuits. So we're getting down here now. And now we're going into black. Black as a personality color is prestigious and power, and that means that if you have this as your color, it's very, very important to you. Strong-willed, determined, and do not like to be controlled. You like to be in control yourself. As a lover of black, you may be considered conventional. Black is restricting of a lot of other ideas. Says you are lighthearted, easygoing. Now, if you have black and you dislike black, it's very much you don't like to have the power. You don't want to have control. You have a gentle disposition, and black is just a little too irritating and too solid and heavy for you. You could be very particularly down to earth, and you want to be seen as a philosopher. You may have fear of the dark from your childhood, possible of also having dominance placed over you in early years. Black brings back these feelings. That's what it does psychology-wise. Going into from black to white now. And white is rarely a color, and it's really a favorite color from childhood. People just don't say, oh, my favorite color is white. It's something that we acquire as we get older. And it tends to be at a time when we're going through transitional periods of our life, like preparing for new beginnings or seeking new directions, any kind of shifting that's happening that's pretty monumental, any kind of transfer. But that's when people say that they love white. So it's usually in a transition stage, which is really interesting. But having white as a personality color means that you are neat, immaculate in your appearance and in your home, and it's very passionate for you. Also to keep in your car, immaculate place for your car to, almost to being fantastical. It's to the point where it's like fairy tale to somebody. You have impeccable standards and cleanliness and hygiene, and you expect others to do the same and keep the high standards. You are far-sighted and positive and optimistic in nature. You are well-balanced, sensitive, and discreet and wise. Disliking white, if white is a color that you are not fond of, these are the things that it says about your personality. It's too sterile for you. You need more color in your life. It's not easy for you to relax. It's too stark. It's too fussy to keep going. You are spontaneous, impulsive, and white is too self-controlled for you. You need lots of interesting things going on in your life, and it's just too simply boring. Some people do feel that white is boring. And you are not concerned with order or perfection in your own life. All the dust on the shelves is okay with you. That and the saber-toothed dust bunnies that live under the couch. Those are all okay too. Okay, so now we have gray and silver and gold. This is a personality color, gray. And what this is going to say for you is that you are very neutral about life and you love gray. This means that you like to protect yourself from the chaotic world around you. You like things very neutral. It's important to you to maintain the status quo, and you prefer safe and secure and balance. You're not really big on change, and you just kind of want to keep things stable so you can count on them. No surprises, no shifting, no none of that. People who like gray are very much neutral and want to stay in that zone. So now people who dislike gray or are not a fan of gray, this says this about your personality. What it'll say is that you would rather be right than wrong, but never indifferent. And you're going to be very confident with your opinions and decision making. Routine would bother you. It's kind of one of those things that the more stimulating to your senses can kind of be overstimulating to you. So you kind of like to stay in that mid area, the safe zone, I guess you'd say. But you also may be the type of person who pursues one interest after another in your pursuit of happiness. So people who, psychology of not liking the color gray, may not necessarily be content with one thing after pursuing it, so they're going to keep going and pursuing something else because they want that safe order in place, and they want to be sure that that is all in alignment. Talking about the color silver, I happen to love silver myself. Hands down, if I've got jewelry, I want it to be silver. I just absolutely adore silver. So with the color silver, you are intuitive and insightful and strongly connected with the higher spiritual guidance. You tend to be very, very open and preoccupied with your own world in search of maintaining fulfillment. You sometimes isolate yourself from others, and you look at the deeper questions of life. Also, silver as a personality color, you are imaginative and creative, particularly when writing the word, making speeches, doing any kind of pottery. People who like silver are very artistic. It has all kinds of self-expression written all over it. Silver is also, from the chakras and the colors we were talking about before, is a feminine energy. Now, people who are opposed to or dislike silver, what it says about their personalities is that they're not really liking sleek, modern, high-tech things. They aren't really sophisticated and elegant. They just like things to be the way they are. They're not really open to new ideas and new opportunities. They have fear of change. The color may also indicate that it's not quite enough for you. Some people, they associate it too much with gray, even though it's metallic, and there is different light qualities and reflection about it. People will also not like it because it's too close to gray. But silver also may be too emotional for people who are offended by the color silver or do not like it, because it is a highly creative, highly active color because of the metallic that's in it. So now we're going to jump into the gold, and the gold is definitely a very charismatic color. And if this is your personality color, it's telling you that you are very radiant, you're charismatic, your personality is very individual. You would be very valued in a company, and also very loving, compassionate. You show great personal warmth. You feel very empowered when you are present. So it's also having a very great positive outlook on life. People are drawn to you and you inspire people, and you will achieve great levels of success if gold is your favorite color. Now, people who dislike gold, and especially in jewelry, disliking it, you may have fear of wealth, money, and success. You may be rejecting material or spiritual wealth and abundance. You may be particularly down-to-earth person who has no desire for sophisticated progress in life. Money and success are just not that important to you. So that's a little bit about the gold. Now, I know that this was kind of rough throughout here, and that there's hit and miss. There's tons more information on these personality colors. I just really wanted to get, my hand in the cookie jar a little bit and see, if you guys were interested in it or not. I think it's an aspect of life that is highly overlooked, and I feel like as a whole and a one consciousness, we should start to do what we can in our own lives to start manifesting our paradigms to be what we want them to be, instead of what they're being dictated. So with that being said, my favorite part of this, and it's just one small little spot here, and this is something when I do any kind of candle work or color therapy, or any kind of healing sessions. When I do that, sometimes I will also use color therapy in my readings and my intuitive readings and my mediumship. This is one of my favorite aspects of color, just because it's very cut and dry and it's simple and there's no contradicting for it. You can have multiple meanings of one color depending on your practitioner, but they should be and correlate very much the same. So now what I'm going to give you is color correspondences with magic. So any of these colors is going to be something that you can correspond with magic. You can use herbs or oils or candles or altar cloth, any kind of anything that you want to bring these forth into your energetic field or your practices. So we will go through that, and then I will be done sharing this with you until next time, and you will have to just let me know what you're thinking. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over white, yellow, gold, orange, copper and bronze, red, pink, green, purple, brown, gray, silver, and black. And now these are magic qualities of these colors. So white represents purification, cleaning of all levels, contact with the higher spiritual self, guides and helpers. It's aura healing, it's truth seeking, spiritual enlightenment, protection against any negativity, breaking curses. It's used in exorcism, meditation, devotion, inspiration, clairvoyance. White can also be used in if you're doing candle magic, white can be used to replace any other color. You can purpose white for any other color because it carries all colors. Because white reflects and carries all color. So that is a cute little tidbit there. Also, yellow. This is the element of air. This is travel, knowledge, and magic. Vitality, change, progress. Constant communication and trade. Confidence, joy, cheerfulness, mental clarity. Concentration, speaking, reading, writing, visualization, academics and legal affairs, and also psychic senses. Gold. Gold is the sun deity, solar energies and masculine energy. Abundant self-confidence, creative protection, purification, monetary riches, success in investments, worldly power, magical power, overcoming bad habits and addictions. So now we're going to look at the orange. Orange, good luck and good fortune, charm, kindness, encouragement, stimulation, optimism, success, abundance, prosperity, feast and celebration, achieving business goals, investments, success in legal matters. Copper and bronze, love goddesses, love, passion, passionate relationships in love, friendships and business, career opportunities and promotions, successful negotiations. Red is element of fire, love, passion, sexuality, war, courage, willpower, determination, speed, aggressiveness, masculinity, independence, physical strength, sports, competition, conflict, health, sexual attraction, and potency, and also fertility. Pink. Pink is emotional, love, healing, softness, tenderness, romance, caring, emotional nurturing, youth, peace, friendship, and fertility. Green, elemental earth, nature and fertility deities, Mother Goddess, fertility, growth, rejuvenation, recover, healing, harvest, abundance, prosperity, harmony, balance, peace, hope, home, plants, animals, finances, and money. Blue, water, truth, wisdom, peace, tranquility, calmness, justice, counsel, guidance, understanding and patience, loyalty, honor, sincerity, devotion, healing, femininity, prophetic dreams, protection during sleep, and astral projection. Purple, divination and prophecy, psychic abilities, counteracting negative activity. Black, magic, reverses curses. Purple, psychic healing, psychic powers, inspiration, meditation, spirituality, spiritual power, astral projection, and it also stimulates the third eye. Brown, earth element, stability, grounded, conversation, protection of house, family, and pets, healing animals, finding lost objects, buildings, material increase, making relationships solid, to increase connection, to attract help in financial crisis. Gray is neutralizing. It neutralizes negative influences and it's putting a halt to that attraction. Silver is the moon goddess, female energy, cycles rebirth, reincarnation. It's healing of the hormone imbalances. Emotional stability, neutralizing or remove negative energy. Intuition, dream, psychic abilities, and psychic or magic workings. Black is the element of earth, the deities of the underworld. Repel and banish evil and negativity, protection, breaking free of bad habits and addictions. Deep meditation opens up deep unconscious levels. So that's all I have right now. And there is so much more to learn about this, but this is just kind of getting the foot in the door. I hope that you enjoyed it. It really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I'm going to be personally working more consciously on color and what color means to me and how I embrace this in my life. I wish you many, many blessings. Namaste. This is Iana Rain, and I hope to talk with you soon.